Alright, so I'm sitting here in my parents' garage. I just got back from the gym. Been meaning to do this for a couple weeks. I've been thinking about it, but finally got the motivation up. Um, it's a little dark, sorry about that. I don't know why I'm apologizing. This is mostly for me anyways. So my name's Larry Talley. I'm planning on starting a series. I don't know if you'd call it a series, but I just want to do some monologues. Um, I've gotten worse over the last couple of years at talking to people, and I'm trying to break out of that. It's really difficult without the use of substances. I mean, I'm good at talking to people when I'm drinking at a bar or something, or when I take kratom, which kind of gives you energy, makes you a little more social. But otherwise, I'm normally very introverted. Trying to get out of that, and I figure maybe talking to a camera for a little bit, opening up about myself. I'll probably post this on YouTube. I won't. Oh, probably should turn the lights on. Probably won't share anything about it. If someone sees it, they see it. But this is mostly for me, like I said. Yeah, so my name's Larry Talley. I'm 27 years old. Lived in Southeast Michigan most of my life. I moved to Chicago for about half a year to go to art school, which was kind of a big mistake, but cool life experience. Currently living with my parents again. A little bit ashamed of it being my age, but what are you gonna do? Moving out pretty soon in September. It's about a month away, and hopefully next year moving back to Chicago with one of my good friends. Like I said, super introverted guy, trying to break out of it, really focusing on self-improvement, socially, physically, working out almost every day. I'm on probation currently for some trouble I got in, unfortunately, almost a year ago, and waiting for that to be over so I can move forward with my career path. Very interested in the beer industry. Like I mentioned earlier, I like drinking as a social lubricant. I also really enjoy beer. Don't really like the getting drunk aspect, but a nice buzz is a good bonus. Yeah, my goal is to eventually be in the beer industry, whether it be bartending at a brewery, brew pub, preferably a brewery, like kind of a place where you bring your own food. I really like that model. You don't have to have a kitchen, a lot less overhead, less staff. I want to move to Chicago for that reason specifically. There are a lot more breweries in Chicago than there are in Southeast Michigan. I know Michigan's huge for breweries, for beer, but if you don't live in Grand Rapids, there's not that many around here. Southeast Michigan, at least around Detroit, we've got maybe like 15. In Chicago, there's way more than that. There's a lot of really cool beer bars too. I also like the city life, and I like being able to not have a car. You can get around pretty reliably with public transportation, which is something Detroit hasn't seemed to implement yet for some reason, yet they're coming up in all these other ways. Gentrification, some might say, but I don't want to get into that too much, not even with myself right now. Yeah, see, a little awkward still talking to the camera. These will probably be between 5 and 10 minutes each. Obviously, as I do more of them, it will get a little easier. And I don't know, I was inspired by, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately. I've always liked reading, but either due to poor time management skills or just not enough time in general, I do kind of work a lot, and I have a lot of hobbies I throw myself into. Some probably more than I should. because of my financial status, but don't really have too much time to read. So I get most of my information from podcasts. I listen to a bunch of them. Joe Rogan's pretty good because of the variety of guests he has. A lot of scientists, doctors, that type of thing. A lot of knowledgeable people. Very Bad Wizards is a really good one with a psychologist and a philosopher. I listen to Sam Harris, even though his voice is kind of droning, which is probably how I'm talking right now because it's almost 4 in the morning. What else? I listen to a couple other comedians. I was listening to Legions of Skanks for a while. Not really anymore, but Theo Von's one of the best as far as comedy podcasts. And he's not even really a comedy podcast. He's just a really funny guy. He's a stand-up comedian, but off the cuff, he's just fucking hilarious. Yeah, so I wanted to start a podcast, but I'd probably need to get better at talking publicly for that to happen. Also doing this to make it easier to maybe talk to random strangers. How are you supposed to meet people if you can't start up a conversation? Especially women, especially romantic interests. I haven't had one of those in a long time. Probably, one, because I don't really encounter many single women, at least that I know are single, in a setting that's conducive to meeting people. I am a server, but it's kind of hard to talk to your tables, like flirt with your tables, especially when you're bad at flirting. I can't really read social signals very well. I was diagnosed with Asperger's maybe 6 years ago. Not really saying that defines me or anything, but it does kind of explain a lot about how I grew up and how I kind of pigeonhole interests. Like, I focus on one thing specifically, like I'll get really into, let's say, car tail lights, identifying car tail lights. I'll have favorite car tail lights. I got really into waterfalls, like have favorite waterfalls, research a lot about waterfalls, just really weird, random interests. Also, can't read like tones, like how people speak, like inflections. Also really bad at conveying my intentions through inflections, which is why, like I said, I don't flirt. So it's hard to meet people if I'm not in environments that are easy to meet people. I don't really get invited out to many parties, especially because I'm not drinking right now due to the trouble I got in. I will be again as soon as I can. And most of my friends are either in the same boat as me, in relationships, and if they're in relationships, I don't see them as often, and I don't really get invited out, like I said, lately, so I'm just not meeting anybody. And even if I do, like, what am I supposed to say? I've got a complex where I'm very insecure, and I'm trying to boost that up as well. Maybe this might be an outlet to help me see maybe I'm not so insane. Not insane, but like I'm not an idiot. I'm a pretty intelligent guy. I don't think I'm ugly. Obviously my brain tells me differently when I'm talking to a beautiful woman, but trying to get over that again, like I said. Yeah. Maybe I'll talk about something different tomorrow. It's about to reach the 10-minute limit. This was a little bit rough for me. If somebody watches this, then cool. Sorry if I wasted 10 minutes. If I didn't, you get to know a little bit about me. Like I said, my name's Larry Talley. Live in Southeast Michigan. I play a Japanese skill toy game called Kendama. I play a collectible card game called Magic the Gathering. Into really nerdy stuff, superhero movies, anime, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, the like. Interest in D&D, but I've never really played it. All that nerdy shit. I play Super Smash Brothers competitively. I think a fly just triggered something on my phone that's pretty funny. Attention span's not really the best either. But yeah, super into math, science, a lot of intellectual things. I don't really get to have very many intellectual conversations anymore, which is something else I'd like to try to find. And yeah, probably gonna be a more serious thing, this monologue shit. But yeah, if anybody watched it, I hope you enjoyed the 10 minutes of me talking aimlessly, rambling at a camera. And if not, then sorry if I wasted your time, and I'll be posting another one of these in a couple days. All right.